The Bridge here on VH1, I'm Sonya Saul. Now, it can't have escaped your notice that VH1 is currently showing the best of the old grey whistle test. If it has escaped your notice, shame on you, and get your diaries out now.
Heavy.
So we have the old grey whistle test, and we also have on the bridge its presenter, Bob Harris. Bob, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good memories associated with the test?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, great memories, kind of unrepeatable memories in a way. 7 years with the programme. So, we did a lot of travelling, met a lot of people. It was great. I really, really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Was it sort of a really groundbreaking show in those days? Or what? What was it?
Yeah, it was. It was also kind of the only one. I mean, so being that it was the only one, we seemed to get kind of everybody who was coming into town stopped off in the studio and played live. We had lots of sessions on the show, as you know. So, I mean, it was, the programme was originally set up to be the sort of diametric alternative to Top of the Pops, which obviously was a sort of singles top 40 show. So Whistle Test was set up to be, an album show. You had to have an album released to appear on the show. Mm-hmm. So, we were delving around in America a lot. People like Jackson Browne and Bonnie Raitt and the Eagles, people like this, had their first showing on the programme. So in that respect, yeah, I guess it was, yeah.
Did you find that you ever became sort of very blasé about the artists appearing on the show? Or was it always, was there ever someone who was a real thrill for you to meet?
No, I never did get blasé. I remained sycophantic throughout because I just thought it was so great kind of being there, and you're in such close proximity to people who are coming into the show and playing live. What you were getting were sort of unique performances of songs that, you may or may not have known, but you're there, right there, literally yards away from the artist who's performing. And, when you've got the kind of people who are coming through the studio regularly, on a regular basis, it was just so enjoyable to do it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's as much excitement in music and music shows as there was then? There's still as much of a buzz?
I think maybe we've, gone too far in terms of trying to kind of create an artificial buzz, I mean, a programme has either got a sort of spark of magic about it, or it hasn't. It's very, very hard to kind of, press a sparkle button and somehow, make it all happen in that way. Mm. And if you look through the programmes over the years, the music TV shows that have really kind of worked in their day, they all had, something really special about them. Oh Boy, in the late 50s, Ready, Steady, Go, obviously, Whistle Test, The Tube, mm-hmm. These programmes. And you can't kind of concoct it. It happens with the chemistry of the programme, or it doesn't, I think. I think the one thing, though, is that we're probably kind of over-demystified, I think, rock and pop these days. I think people are, I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that you're kind of less impressed by stuff. But I suppose the more you scrape away at it, and get to the core of it, and that's more what television is doing these days.
Right. So when you look back at the old test, do you sort of think, my goodness, the flares, or I had my hair like that?
Oh,
I mean,
don't.
I
I mean,
love these trousers, by the way.
You wonder.
Really rather nice. I'm impressed, Bob.
You wonder how on earth, But I mean, it's like everybody did, if you know what I mean. I mean, I see what I was wearing in 1972 and 73 and 4, and you think, God, could you ever look? But I mean, everybody kind of looked like that. It's only sort of looking back at it now. It looks so time locked,
Going back to the artists on the shows, I mean, do you think also now the quality maybe isn't there as much? I mean, everyone's after the big one hit, and artists come and go so quickly now, and the old favourites ones who were still there on the Whistle Test are still around now, even, aren't they?
I think there is an overemphasis these days in the quick hit. We're not building into the future as much in the British music industry, I think personally, as we should be. Although, I'll immediately qualify that by saying what an exciting burst of new music there is in Britain now, I think. Bands like Oasis, Portishead. We are right in the middle of a kind of energy surge of really good British music. Right now, I think it's as good as it's been for a long, long time. And in terms of, bands and artists in the style of Whistle Test, if you like, there are a lot of very, very talented singer-songwriters around now, Sean Colvin, Mark Kern, people like this, Mary Chapin Carpenter. The quality of the music is as good now, if not better, I think, as it was then. As I say, we tend to kind of, I don't know what it is in this country that we tend to kind of, up until VH1, I don't think that there's been the exposure point for this sort of music lately. Obviously there hasn't, apart from Jules Holland's programme maybe on the BBC, but we've got a massive audience out there for this style of music, and hitherto they haven't been properly served, really since the days of Whistle Test, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the advent of VH1 in that respect, I hope that's going to redress the balance a bit.
That's a lovely plug, Bob. Thank you so much. Now, I know it is like asking you to name your favourite child, but do you have a favourite performance, a live performance from Whistle Test?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of different performances for lots of different reasons. I mean, there was, when Meatloaf came in and did Bat Out of Hell, that was probably one of the most sort of energy charged performances that we had. In terms of live performances that we showed on the programme, I would say probably Bruce Springsteen's Rosalita would be because I was there at the concert where it was recorded. It was in New Haven, and it was the best concert I've ever seen in my life. It was absolutely fantastic. So if I were to pick one performance from the programme, it would be that one.
Brilliant, that's great. I hope you get a lot of fun memories as well watching all the reruns. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And on the Whistle Test this week, you can see vintage performances from Roxy Music, Steve Miller, the J. Giles Band and Rory Gallagher. That's Friday.
The trials and tribulations of my life, I've always had this incredibly secure place to go to with that.